This is fabulous. This is one of the best nights I've ever been here. I thought it would be hard. I thought it'd be almost impossible just to get to 218. Now I found there's a whole new day here. We've woken them up.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene defended Speaker McCarthy as some Republicans are calling for him to step down or be removed after this bill. Watch.
If my friends and colleagues in the Freedom Caucus want a motion to vacate over that, that is absolutely absurd, simply because we passed a debt ceiling bill that actually cuts spending.
It really is as predictable as the tide at this point. Some legislative battle is on the horizon, and conservatives swear this time will be different. Then it isn't. All the high and mighty talk, all the promises end up meaning nothing, because aside from making promises they can't keep, most of the GOP only excels at not delivering. The simple fact of the matter is this: if Republicans or conservatives or anyone not a complete leftist ever plans on winning any legislative fight ever again, they're going to have to learn how to message to people who don't already agree with them. You know, it's really annoying watching the members of Congress who give great speeches about conservative principles and fiscal responsibility sit on their asses and complain when they don't get their way. Where were they when it mattered? Why weren't they in the room negotiating? Why weren't they in leadership, setting the terms of negotiation? The reality is, they weren't there because aside from preaching to the choir on cable news channels, they don't do anything to advance their causes they claim to care so deeply about. Now, I'm really not trying to be a jerk here, I promise, but someone has to say this. I'd love for there to be 50 Mike Lees in the Senate, but all that would really mean is we would have 50 votes for a losing cause. Not because we weren't right, but because listening to Mike Lee explain why we need to cut federal spending is about as exciting as watching paint dry or sitting through a talk about insurance. And hey, seriously, nothing against Mike Lee. I mean, come on. You can insert any of the names of the people you likely support and have dozens, if not hundreds, of fundraising emails from in your inbox right now. It doesn't matter who it is, because it is all of them. You see, it's really easy to hold the line when you aren't anywhere near where the line actually is, if you get my drift. How about this? It's really easy to be the Monday morning quarterback when you never get in the damn game. If conservatives want to have influence on the Hill, they have two roads to go down. Win a majority or stop being press conference leaders and lead on legislative issues. Every single time there's a battle on the Hill with Democrats, there are conservatives all over television promising this time will be different, that they have the upper hand and momentum to win, whatever they define that to mean at the time. The story always plays out the same. There's some deadline approaching, and they insist all that's needed is to hold the line and victory is assured. Only it never is. So a deal is struck and it's never good enough for them. Sorry, but negotiations don't happen on cable television or at a camera bank in a hallway. Get in the damn ring or shut the hell up. I'm with them, but I also understand how reality works. There are maybe 15 Republican senators committed to the principles they espouse. The rest simply play the role and go along to get along. Simply waiting for the red light on the camera to flip on to be involved is about fundraising and PR, not leadership. If you can't convince a majority to be with you, you aren't in the majority. If you don't even bother trying, you don't belong in Congress. It's that simple. I am sick to death of the Congo lines at press conferences, of the usual suspects denouncing whatever horrible deal that was struck completely without them. It's easy to do, but it's also ridiculously lazy. There is a significant segment of the Republican Party quite content to go along to get along as long as they can claim the moral high road when they vote against whatever it is in a losing cause. But all the high road anyone gets in politics is a nice view of a damn defeat. Aren't these people sick of losing yet? Lord knows I am. All the House Freedom Caucus did was release a list of demands and walk away. They didn't even bother producing a draft piece of legislation themselves. Worthless. It's time for these people to accept reality and get involved in the ideological battle in the Republican Party during the primaries when it can matter. Put their names, reputations, and money on the line to elect enough like-minded people to get themselves into leadership. I mean, for crying out loud, how pathetic are these people? There's a reason so many people profess to despise Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell, and yet they still get elected to lead the House and Senate. And it's not their charming personalities. It's that they get a majority of their respective GOP caucuses. Let's end on this note. Either work to change the minds of caucus members, or change the members of the caucus. But spare us all the posturing about what should have been done when you didn't do a damn thing, but complain about what was happening from an air-conditioned studio, rather than being in the room when and where shit went down.
My friend from New York, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, said, quote, "I ask you, think about the last time a person has said in this country that the government does too much for them. When was the last time anyone has heard or seen that?" I'll say it. I'll say it right here. I don't want the government doing most of the things that the government is doing to interfere with the ability of the American people to carry out their lives. Federal, state, and local. When was the last time you had a bureaucrat show up and you said, "Oh joy, thank you. I'm really glad there's a bureaucrat here"? When was the last time you were thankful for $32 trillion in debt, $100,000 almost for every man, woman, and child in America? Anybody thankful for $32 trillion in debt? Anybody? Anybody thankful for a border that's wide open being exploited by cartels while fentanyl comes in and kills our children? Everybody thankful for that Department of Homeland Security that doesn't actually secure the homeland? Everybody thankful for an FBI that went after Scott Smith and labeled him a domestic terrorist for daring to defend his daughter in a school board meeting because she was assaulted in a bathroom? Anybody thankful for the IRS knocking on your door, auditing the poor and the minorities 3 to 5 times more? People thankful for that? Are you thankful for the EPA or the Department of Interior that sent a man to prison because he had some ponds on his ranch in Montana? We have a government that is weaponized against the American people and is undermining our liberties, and they want more of it. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle want more government. They want more taxes. They want more spending. They want more bureaucrats knocking on your door, like Mark Houck in Philadelphia when he woke up to this door being knocked on by local law enforcement teamed up with federal law enforcement to go carry out a warrant to arrest him because he had defended his son exercising free speech, because he is a pro-life activist in Philadelphia. That is your government at work.
Most of this came by way of townhall.com. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
All right. Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.